Ah, summer. I love to watch you leave. The pirate flag Jolly Roger will be coming down, and my pirate fantasies will be put to bed for the autumn and the winter. The leaves are changing. More rain in this transitional season. I wonder what fall showers bring. You know, like April showers bring May flowers. But the changing of the seasons brings lots of goodness. Some birds are flying south for the winter, but the ones that stay get special surprises out on the back deck. The bird feeders get full to help the birds sustain themselves throughout the winter, and one mark of fall is that the corvids return. Listen to them. So much majesty in a murder of crows. Okay, so now that fall is coming, uh, it's like September. It makes me realize that I need to do what I have to do every year, and that is a holiday check-in. Okay. If you're like me and you have family that you go to like for the holidays, then you know that sometimes you got to deal with stuff. Just is what it is. I have you have Thanksgiving things, and you may have Christmas if you celebrate it. You have you go to the in-laws, or you go to an aunt's house or a cousin's house, or you have Friendsgiving, or you have whatever. It's just a lot more out of the house excursions in the holiday season, right? Especially for me. And I don't know if you're the same, but I have to do this thing called at this time of year, it's like a holiday check-in where I'm renegotiating with myself my boundaries, what are conversations that I'm not going to have. This will be the second year that we will be my family will be dealing with holidays without my dad present because he just passed. So, it's always harder at the holidays to be missing people. But there are certain subjects and certain conversations that I'm not going to broach. I'm not going to allow to happen. And not necessarily because of that, but there's just certain things that, my family, they'll want to get into certain topics around the holiday dinner table, and I have to reestablish what's acceptable and what's not for me, and also what I'm not willing to put myself through, because I have a small child. I just had a baby, so he'll be leaning towards the 1 year marker, and while that's great, it does make traveling harder, and it makes certain excursions harder because, I have to feed him baby food, and he's still on the breast. So I have more limitations this year, naturally. And so there are I have to be okay with saying no to certain invitations, prioritizing certain excursions. What am I wanting to do? What am I not wanting to do? And then kind of reassess that and write it down. Maybe get I have a calendar going. I make one on Canva almost every year where I go through and I list out video ideas. I do that in my video journal, but then I plug it into a calendar to see what's gonna be doable for the channel, and then also doable in in my everyday personal life. Certain parties, certain excursions, when are those days? Do they coincide? Can I get it all done? Da 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 da. So a holiday check-in is really important, and I guess I wanted to mention that I'm not feeling a lot of it this year. We decided to make a couple of tradition changes, and that just means that there are certain things that my family my family collectively, okay, like my family and my husband's, my immediate family, my husband and my children and me, we have certain traditions, and we're thinking about changing some of them. Like certain things that we do every year, we may not want to do this year. So we've been having like family meetings and like, hey, do you want to do this? Hey, do you want to do that? And try to decide collectively what we're wanting to do and not put too much on our plate, because for the first time in a long time, and I know that it's because I had the baby, I have been wanting a more cozy, I've been like gearing up to have a more cozy holiday season, like more, more time here at the house with like a cozy fire in the fireplace, hot cocoa nights, movie nights, things like that with the kids, just like real cozy at home things, more so than the like, let's get out into it. So, there's that. And then also like assessing Christmas, because baby's birthday is on Christmas. So there's some adjusting that needs to happen because of that too. So I do all of this like holiday check-in right around this time. So I'm gearing up to do that. And I guess I'm just sharing it because if you needed some kind of permission slip to get your Google Calendar out and like start scratching some shit off that you're really not interested in it, do it. Do it for you.
Journaling is also a heavy practice for me all year, but especially this time of year. Been working a lot on my new Oracle deck, and it's been so good to just sit and draw and, I don't know, be with the paper and the pencil.
Okay, so on to this portion of the video. I'm sure I'll use more than this, but these are some decks that I had gotten out for the season just as like a preliminary. All right, so let's look at them. Right off the rip, well, I've got some everywhere, okay? So I've got this, which is my Luminescent Oracle. It's going to be really good for the dark half of the year, I think. It's got some very, like, the keywords on this are stellar, if I do say so myself. And I'm really excited to like of course I work with it, but I'm really super excited to like really play with it in the dark half of the year, like maybe with some candlelight. It'll be good. Probably do some like pairings and like pair it with things and really journal with it in the candlelight. It's gonna be good. It's gonna be really good. So love that. So that's my Luminescent Oracle. Let's see. And then the other Oracle, because I always envision like playing around in the graveyards in this time of the year. Not that I ever do, but this is my Statue Tarot, my square Statue Tarot. I love it so much. It reminds me of walking through the graveyards, walking through just walking through and looking at statues. And it's so good. Like, can y'all even see these way down there? So good. How perfect is that world card? Like, I love this card. Ooh. I'll be using this the dark half of the year and seeing what spooky graveyard things I can do with it. So there was the Statue Tarot. Then the last two that are mine are my Wild Nature, Wild You, and my new Quintessential Thoth. I've been using the hell out of this. I put it in order, actually. I like to like shuffle, and then when I like just want to look at the art, I put it back together. It's just like one of those tarot things that I do. Super, super proud of this. This is the Quintessential Thoth 2nd edition with the keywords on it. It's on my Make Playing Cards page. It's such a good deck, you guys. It reads well. And I'll be using that just because it's new and it's like a new shiny thing for me and I love it so much. So that's on the list. Now this actually isn't going to make much of an appearance on the channel because I've got so many like spooky things happening on the channel for the spooky season portion of autumn. November, I'm going to be like working with my wild feral archetype, and I'll be sharing some things on the channel about that, and that's when this is going to make an appearance. So this is the new Wild Nature Wild You second edition, or what I'm calling the reimagined edition. There is a light version up on my page for those that already have this deck. Or just want a smaller, because this is this is 63 cards. I've got one on there that's 42 cards. That is like what I'm calling Wild Nature Wild You Light. So it can gear towards the ones that can't really like get their hands on this and shuffle it, and just want maybe just a few less cards than what I envisioned. But this is a beautiful deck, if I do say so myself. I love them. I love all of my decks, really, but they're all my babies. But this one, the second edition, is so good. Oh my gosh, so good. I mean, I know, like I've said this before, nature images or just images or photographs aren't always your, somebody's cup of tea, but the images and the keywords, I wrote a little guidebook that's on my coffee page, and it's so, I still refer to it, and it's so good. It's making an appearance now because I'll probably be getting it out to make videos with for like November and stuff. So that's here. Some other ones that I have out, like I said, I'll probably have more than this, but I actually got Tarot of the Holy Spirit out. So this is such a good deck. Such a good deck. This is actually an older copy that I got off eBay, and the cardstock is so perfect. I love this cardstock so much. Oh my gosh. And I haven't worked with this year a lot. So I'm excited to get it out for this time of year. I don't know, maybe. So super stoked to kind of work with this and like give it a new light in my practice a little bit. So it's the Tarot of the Holy Spirit. I have some like spooky decks, I guess, a few, but I only got these out right now because these are the ones I'm like wanting to work with right now. So I got this, which is called the Isolation Tarot. I made a whole video about how this is my weirdest tarot deck ever. So, I'll leave that in the cards for you if you're interested, but it's so off the wall that it's just giving me like all the spooky vibes. So I love it. Plus this little apparition on the back is so good. It's going to be a really good deck for this time of the year because it just pulls me into like the darker symbolism, and I'm so ready for it. So I'm ready for that one. Like I said, that's isolated. It's already starting to yellow because of use. I don't know if you can tell, but it gives my little deck up some patina. Now I've got the Dreams of Pantagruel by our very own Sorsha over at Sorsha Soaring. I'll leave her channel link below and the link to this deck below if you're interested. But this is all on the Dreams of Pantagruel. This is a huge deck. I typically like section it out and use it that way. But the ghouls and the goblins and the pukas and I don't know, just the little changelings here are everything. And I'm so ready to use this in this half of the year. Like, it's going to be so good to really like, to get with the spirits and to get with the wee folk, the fae and like I said, the changelings and the pukas and the brownies and the tricksters and stuff. And it'll be really nice to see how that plays out in the practice. So that was the Dreams of Pantagruel. And then the last one is, of course, the Tarot of Haunted House. Kind of been wanting to get Raven out. The figure in this deck is called Raven Wandsworth. And it just reminds me of those old-timey, like, gothic romance novels, which I'm sure that is what this was based off of. But the images just conjure so many feelings for me. Now, having this deck for a few years, I've realized that I don't necessarily like the fact, I don't like it when there's like one lone figure going through. Now,
I agree that tarot is cyclical and that it could really be that one person traveling through the whole major arcana and then through the minors too. But I like to see the differences. But for this, it's Raven in a lot of the cards, and she's like coming upon the other beings, if there are any. And I'd just like to see a little bit more diversity, but the same kind of setup. So, but for what it is, I like it. Like the castle vibes, the big manor house vibes. I think this would pair so good with the Tildewick Tarot, which is a tarot I don't have. It's like probably my unicorn deck at this point. But I think this would pair well, like going like on like a spooky tarot trip. So that might be something coming up in the future, is some little tarot tales. I don't know. So Raven's going to make an appearance this season. And like I said, I'll probably use more, but that is just a few of the decks that I will be, look at the backs on this, so perfect. So these are just a few of the ones that I'll be using. Can we get them all in frame? You know how people do? Last one. There. Something like that.
I'm also wanting to show you the books that I'm going to be attempting this season. Not a lot at the moment, but I really wanted to read Kitchen Confidential by Anthony Bourdain. I wanted to read this in the summer, but I didn't get to it. So as it's ending summer, I think I'm gonna read this start it within the next couple of days, and that this will be my end of summer book. So, really excited for this. Oh my god. Okay, so that's gonna end my summer. But I got a couple of other things. I got the Cabalion out. The three initiates. I'm already familiar, but it's just something like, it's just that it feels like something to get out this time of year. So I'm going to be sifting through the Cabalion. And that'll be good. I really love the principles, the Hermetic principles. It's definitely something I'll be skimming through throughout the spooky season, if you will. I got some poetry over here. I mentioned this, I'm going to be mentioning this in several videos, but I'm going to do I'm going to do a video all on poetry because I've been reading quite a bit of it lately. It's probably why I haven't picked up Anthony Bourdain, is because I've been mostly reading poetry. This is a collection by DJ Irvine. He's got a couple of collections out, but he's also a photographer, and it's been so good. Like, look at this. Like, look at these photos. The breath of death. Yes. So I've been reading some poetry, but I'm going to dedicate a whole video to that. Let's see. Kitchen Confidential. Oh, I picked this up from the thrift store, and I thought that it was something cool, but we'll see. It's called Too Much by Rachel Verona Cote, or Cote, I'm not sure. How Victorian Constraints Still Bind Women Today. I thought that was a fascinating title, something that I'm definitely interested in, especially working with my wild woman archetype that we'll dive more into, like, coming up in November. But, and can we just, like, say that reviews instead of a synopsis, I read this too on Pinterest, I think. I don't want reviews on my books. Can you give me a synopsis? Now, I don't care, fiction, nonfiction, it doesn't matter. You will have a synopsis for your book. You will have a mission statement for your book. I want that on the back. I don't give a shit who liked your book. I don't. So it's not necessarily something that I believe gives the book merit. But that's just my opinion. Maybe I'm popular. Look at this, like, is this a synopsis? No. Okay. But look, like in the dust jacket. I love that.
That looks like me. Holy shit. Does that look like me? Let's see if I can... Yeah, definitely been me before. So, what are the chapters in this? If there are any. Because I like to look at that. Like if there's a... Nope, they're not. There are not any... There's not a table of contents. I don't like that. Ooh, chapter 2 is called The Chatterbox. Ooh, I'm gonna like this. I don't know if I'll like read the whole thing, but it's here on this steaming pile of books. Also, do not tell Carl Jung that I'm about to dive into this. Not that he would care, but I think he might, you know, considering how much I've praised him, I don't know, he might get his feelings hurt. But I picked up this, Sigmund Freud, Civilization and Its Discontent, okay? Like I said, don't tell Jung, but there are some things about Freud that I don't want to say that I agree with it, but I find interesting and I find compelling and I find I find it entertaining. So don't ask me who my favorite like psychologists are. Don't ask me who my favorite philosophers are. Like, am I, you know, a Marx, or am I, you know, like, are you Aristotelian? No, don't ask me any of that. I read and I think about what I read, and if it jives, it jives. If it doesn't matter. It's knowledge. So I picked up a little Sigmund Freud for myself for the spooky season, and I'm interested in this work specifically. So we'll see how that goes. Oh, one more. Almost finished with A Walk Through the Forest of Souls by Rachel Pollack. If you aren't familiar, I hope you are, me and Marlena Teresa just did the soul reading that was from this book, and we made it into a hashtag, and a lot of people, okay, 12 or 13 people so far have done the reading. And what I have been doing is I've been compiling a spreadsheet of all the readings to see if we get any like repeats, to do kind of like a collective analysis on what is the soul, and it's been pretty profound. I may make a video devoted to that. I might work on it a little bit more with Marlena. I don't know if that'll actually come to fruition. If anything, I might just put the spreadsheet out for you guys to look at, like as a like Word document that you can download and peruse. But if you want to get in on it, the hashtag is the soul reading, and I will leave the playlist down below so that you can check out all of the tarot cool things that are coming out of the tarot for this reading. A lot of them, all of them have been mind-blowing, and I'm so happy that so many people jumped on the bandwagon. So yeah, so I'll probably finish this as well sometime in the near future, just to go ahead and finish it. And like I said, it's been really cool to like collectively see what the soul reading specifically has done for everybody. So, but don't let that stop you. If you haven't done it and you've been wanting to, you can post your video. Marlena actually sent me a picture of someone that did it on Facebook, so you can do that as well, or post it to Instagram. As long as you tag me or Marlena in it, we'll get it. Or just use the hashtag, I guess. But either way, you can send it to us or whatever if you're not going to do a video devoted to it. But we would love if you did the soul reading, and we can add it to the collective analysis. So that might be something that's coming up.